Here's a short video on how to program the boards, sensor boards. I'm sending a programming device which has the code loaded into it, the hex code that needs to go into the microcontroller. Okay, so the first thing I do is I'm going to take the glass off of the plexiglass off the cover on the sensor board. Okay, then I'm going to plug in the programmer, the USB. And you'll see a blinking light, which means it's ready to program its target. On the interface of the connector here, you have a plus sign, and on the board itself of the ICSP is a plus sign. Also, make sure you move these switches to their position that's next to the door, so that means they're all off. Okay, they should all be in line. They should usually see the unit ID in the stencils there, so they should be away from the unit ID in the off position. Here's the plus sign on the interface, and that goes towards the inside of the board. There's 5 pins that you're going to put this interface on, this little connector on. So I'm going to put that on, and just make sure the plus is on the first pin, and the back of the connector at the bottom of and towards the bottom of the box is it's in line with the board pretty much. Okay, so once that's on, it'll be blinking, meaning it's ready to go. Then you hit the program button, and you should see a solid light. And if it's a solid light, that means it's programming. So when that goes off, it should blink the target. And it is blinking the target. Okay, now if I plug the board, the control power off the control board, because the power for the inside board comes off the control on the control board on the outside. So if I unplug it and I plug it back in, you'll see that that's blinking because I haven't set the address yet. The board only reads its address when it gets power. Okay, so now I'm going to set it to the same as the outside board, which is 1 here, and it's 1 on the inside plus the 32 digits. So that's the way we address the inside boards for the sensors. They're always 1, or the address of the outside plus the extra 32 bit. Okay, now I'm going to go over to my clock lab and make sure this is running. So now I'm going to start up clock chamber control. I did not repower the boards, so the problem is, since I didn't repower it, it didn't read the address. So I'm going to recycle the power here. Just unplug the outside power, plug it back in. Now it doesn't blink, which means it's good. Okay, now Clock Lab has to be restarted because it only reads the boards, the sensor boards and the control boards when it starts up. That is the chamber control software. So now you'll see that this is madly blinking because Clock Lab's looking for all the boards in its network. And then let's see what happens. And now you see the reading coming up for the Clock Lab chamber. And then on the inside, since it's board 1, you'll see unit ID 1, it's reading, and unit ID 33, which is 1 plus 32 for the sensor board. And if I go back to the chamber, it's reading.